Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this committee meeting. Mr. Buchanan, how many federal loan repayment plans are there today?
Well, that's a complicated question because for every borrower, the amount of repayment plans that they have eligibility for varies based upon when they took out those loans, what year they graduated, and when Congress gives and takes away repayment plans. But in all in, including forbearances, deferments, 5 different flavors of income-based repayment, there are more than 55 repayment options that are available to any given borrower at a particular time. And so, as I said, some borrowers may not have access to all of them, and that's the complexity of the federal student loan program. If you ask what particular borrower has access to what loan repayment options, there's a whole laundry list of questions that have to be asked and assessed before you could even determine which of those 55 are on the short list of things they could turn to.
Do any of the applications for the loans ask the student how they plan to repay them?
In the master promissory note, I'm not familiar. I'd have to look at that. On the front end, which is the Department of Education originates these loans and is the lender, so they handle all the loan disclosure up front for originating the loans. But to my knowledge, I don't know that that's specifically called out, but I could be wrong.
If a student wanted to pursue a PhD in primitive basket weaving, where along the process would somebody tell them that it's highly unlikely they'd be able to repay the loan?
Well, one would hope that that communication came before choosing to take that degree and moving forward. That's really an opportunity for, and again, this is not an area that we're involved because this all happens long before the borrower comes to us. They've already made those choices and decisions and have gotten and hopefully graduated into the job marketplace. But that's probably where, from a front-end perspective, as the lender, the government should look at what is its level of disclosure and communication to a borrower. Schools should probably be playing a role in that conversation. And I think that's also a great opportunity for states and others to participate with individuals in their jurisdictions and be part of that education process. At the end of the day, I think what we're all trying to do is help people make informed and better decisions, right? And we'd love them to make informed, better decisions before they came to the servicing side, where we have to, in essence, deal with those choices that have been made and try to put them on the best path that is available under the federal law. But I think working together, whether it's Congress, schools, Department of Education, and states, and families, on being informed about making good decisions before they take on debt, I think that would be very helpful.
Well, does anyone know where it's mandated that the various parties that Mr. Buchanan mentioned are actually obligated to help students make intelligent decisions about how much they're going to borrow and be able to repay?
I don't believe that servicers are expected to advise borrowers about how much to borrow when they're in school. I think a lot of what we're speaking to from the borrower experience is that the cost of attending college increases in repayment due to servicer error and misconduct. I've seen borrowers who borrowed $6,000 to go to school wind up with 6 figures of debt because of servicing errors, forbearances, default, and issues with getting into income-driven repayment after years of struggling can make a balance balloon even after the initial borrowing.
So it sounds like we need to require a financial literacy test or at least a course before somebody's allowed to apply for a student loan. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to yield the remainder of my time to the ranking member.
Thank you for yielding.